G'day, I'm Adam David Collins. Welcome to Stories. I thought I'd do something a little different this year. I'm going to try my hand at the monthly wrap-up video. So here's what I've read in January 2016. So first off, there was Star Wars Aftermath. I listened to this one on audio. Now this was supposed to begin bridging the gap between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. I have to admit, I struggled a bit with this one. The most interesting part was the relationship between the mother and son characters. The mother had been off fighting with the rebellion and the son had been left to fend for himself, which led to lots of interesting conflict, as you can imagine. I don't know, it just didn't feel like Star Wars to me. But it's part of the saga, and if you want to get the complete story, it's worth a look. Next, I read the Glimpses of Light anthology. Now, this is a collection of stories and poems all on the theme of light. I actually contributed a science fiction story to this collection, but it was great getting to read all the other stories. This was my first chance to read what other people had written, and there was some great work. I'm really honoured to be amongst all those other authors. There are a lot of genres covered. There's lots of fantasy, there's contemporary, there's lots of poetry, and there's even some creative non-fiction. All the profits from the sale of this book go to CBM Australia, which is the Christian Blind Mission, so it's a great cause.
I'll try and get it. You see that.
Alright, next was Drawer of Kings by Patrick W. Carr. Now, this is the final book in the Staff and the Sword trilogy. Now, this was a very satisfying conclusion. It answered a lot of the questions that I've been dying to have answered, so that was really cool. I found the very end just a little bit hard to follow. I found myself having to go back a couple of times and check what actually happened there. But it was a great ending not only to the book but to the whole series. I think my favourite book in this series is still the first one, just because it has such a brilliant character arc. But I highly recommend this series, The Staff and the Sword by Patrick W. Carr. So the next audiobook I listened to was Fireflight by Brandon Sanderson. Now, I love anything by Sanderson, and this one was no exception. This is book 2 in the Reckoners series, which is YA superhero, except it's the bad guys who've got all the powers. Now, as with the first book, Steelheart, he plays with a lot of tropes and turns them upside down. And he's built up a lot of stuff in this one, which makes it very clear that the third book in the series, Calamity, is going to be huge. Well, I did manage to get one more book in this month. On the very last day of the month, I finished Timestorm by Steve Harrison. A ship is carrying convicts to the new colony of New South Wales in the year 1795. They're pulled into a mysterious storm, and they arrive in Sydney Harbour in the year 2017. I love time travel stories. It's always fun seeing people in places and times where they don't belong. This one was quite interesting in that it was mostly told from the point of view of the more primitive of the cultures. So we're seeing our time through their eyes, which could be quite illuminating. The book had a very exciting conclusion, which was quite fast-paced, and it was brought round to a very satisfying end. The book did get reasonably edgy. There was violence, a reasonable amount of swearing, and there was an incident of rape. It's not explicit, and it's not really shown in the book, it's just mentioned as having happened. So just keep that in mind. Finally, we took the kids to see the Goosebumps movie the other day. This was a lot of fun. I'd never read any of the books as a kid, but now I kind of wish that I had. There was lots of humour and some really good special effects, but the movie had something to say about the power of storytelling, and as a writer that really connected with me. So yeah, cool movie. Thanks for watching. If you'd like a free story, you can sign up to my email list. There'll be instructions in the description below. Catch you next time.